Hello once again. Gonna talk about a band that came out in 1989, a hard rock band that made 3 albums. Kurt Cobain, Chris, I can't think of the guy's last name, he used to be a bass player for his band. Novoselic, I think that's what his name is. Chad Channing was drums on their first album. Bleach comes out in 1989. The band's name is Nirvana. I don't really like Bleach that much. It's not one of my favorite albums by these guys. I only like maybe like a couple songs off this album. It just really isn't my, honestly, cup of tea. I think the other releases were much better than what Bleach was, in my honest opinion. But overall, I just didn't feel it as much as I did with the next releases that Nirvana made. So we're going to go and talk about, well, we'll see what the songs are in here. Blue, Floyd the Barber, About a Girl, which I like. It's a great song. I do like that song a lot, About a Girl. And School's on here, Love Buzz, Paper Cuts, Negative Creep I do like as well. I think it's a great song. Scoff, Swap Meat, Mr. Mustache, Sifting or something, Big Cheese, Downers, or the reissue from 1992. 2009, this is the reissue that they did. Intro, School, Floyd the Barber, Dive, Love Buzz, Spank Through, Molly's Lips, Sappy, Scuff, About a Girl, Been in the Sun, and Blue. So overall, not really that great of an album for Nirvana's first record, in my honest opinion. I just didn't really like it. Nevermind comes out in the year 1991. And I must say, this is the most overrated Nirvana album ever made, because fanboys think this is such a great album, and in my honest opinion, I don't really think so. There's only maybe 5 or 6 songs I like off of here. Butch Vig, I don't like him as a producer, because on this album, this album has too much clean production, and I really don't like that. When you're a hard rock band like Nirvana, the production shouldn't really sound like this. It should sound, you know, as mean and as aggressive as you want it to be, and that's my problem with Nevermind as well. And the songs I'm so sick and fucking tired of hearing on the fucking radio is Smells Like Teen Spirit. I absolutely think the song is fucking overrated. The same thing with In Bloom, Come As You Are, Lithium on Poly. I hate those songs. Not that great of a songs, in my honest opinion, and I really don't care for these songs. The songs I really do like are Breed, Tutorial Pistons, which I think is a great song, Drain You I like, Lounge Act, On a Plane, and Something in the Way. So I like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 songs over here. The rest of the songs I really don't care for. I think they're just so overplayed. You know, just they keep playing, the radio just keeps playing these songs over and over and over and over again. I'm just sick and tired of these songs. I hate these songs. I just don't think that Nevermind was ever that great of an album. I used to think like that, but In Utero actually made me change my mind about this band, because this album right here, Nevermind, is just very overrated. I mean, I remember when Sir All About Music did a review of this album, and he did a fantastic job. You know, he was just stating his opinion and stuff, but people just attacked this guy for, obviously for no reason, which I think was absolutely bullshit, because everybody really has the right to like something or not like something. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I don't like Nevermind. As the songs I do like off there, I already named you. But in all honesty, I think the album could have been a lot better if they had a different producer and somebody that would make the album really heavy, which, you know, Nevermind is a heavy album, but the clean production ruins it for me. So I'm going to get into the band's third album that came out in 1993, which I absolutely think this is their best album to date. I mean, In Utero is absolutely a fucking fantastic album by Nirvana. I like the sound of this album. You know, Serve the Servants, Senseless Apprentice, Heart-Shaped Box, Rape Me, Francis Framer, We'll Have Her, I'm sorry, Dumb, Variate, Milk It, Penny Royal Tea, Radio Friendly Unit Shifter, Tourette's, all apologies. For me, this is the perfect Nirvana album. No clean production, really hard rock, aggressive, in your face type of music that I like, instead of like having the songs so structured out that after a while you're going to get tired of them. It doesn't happen with me on In Utero. I think it's absolutely an awesome, kick-ass hard rock album, and I really like it a lot. I mean, I'm going to rate probably In Utero a 10 out of 10 all the way through. I like every single song on this whole entire album, and I think, you know, the album is actually talking about lots of different stuff that this band was, you know, pissed off about the media. I think one song was talking about a woman or somebody getting so depressed that they wanted to kill themselves and milk it, and they couldn't live with the fact that they were depressed or something like that. And Rape Me was I think actually talking about, well, it was a single, wasn't it? So let's read what it says on Wikipedia's page, shall we? Alright. I will talk about Heart-Shaped Box in a minute. Let's see here. Here's what it says. Kurt Cobain received Rape Me as a feminine anti-rape song. He told Spin, "It's like she's saying, rape me, go ahead, rape me, beat me, you'll never kill me, I'll survive, and I'm going to fucking rape you one of these days, and you won't even know it." Rape Me seemed to deal with Cobain's distance of the media coverage on his personal life. I actually probably agree with that, what this song is actually talking about. So, I mean, the media was just, you know, I think the media treated Kurt Cobain like absolute shit, and I don't think that was right. Heart-Shaped Box is actually, I think, talking about someone dying of cancer, and that's what, because the lyrics, some of the lyrics, he goes, "I wish I could eat your cancer when you turn black." I mean, which, you know, it does make sense when someone's on their way of dying and they can't make it. You know, I think it's a great song, because, you know, it's talking about the tragedies of what people go through, cancer and stuff, and, you know, when you're on your last days and you're dying in that bed, you know, there's nothing you can do. But, you know, I think it's absolutely just a fantastic song. But I really like the whole entire album. I think it's absolutely a phenomenal, great album by Nirvana. Dave Grohl's drumming was probably the best he's ever done on this album. Kurt Cobain's songwriting was actually a lot better on this album as well. And Chris Novoselic bass playing was actually excellent on this album as well. And the producer was Steve Albini, and I think he actually did a great, tremendous job on this whole entire album, because I think that he allowed this band to have as much freedom as they wanted, and I think like that's actually really awesome of this guy for how he made In Utero so much of a great hard rock album that I think Nirvana really and truly wanted, but couldn't get with Nevermind because it was so clean produced, and that's my biggest main problem with Nevermind by Nirvana. But on this album, just the production's excellent. I liked this album by Nirvana a lot, and I listened to it basically all the time. It's just awesome, great album by these guys. I mean, I like Dumb as well. I already named the songs, but there's all great songs. And Penny Royal Tea, I think, is just talking about, you know, drinking tea with somebody, and that's just what the song is talking about, which makes sense. And it was a single too, but I think it was very rare that it was when it came out. But it's what happens sometimes when you make something very rare and it's so hard to find. It sucks, you know, because you think about it, you can't get something that's really hard to find, and when you do, you pay a lot of money for it, which I think is ridiculous by record companies. That's bullshit, but that's how record companies are nowadays. They're just a bunch of money corporate grubbing assholes that treats bands that actually have talent like absolute shit nowadays. And I really hate that. I mean, no, oh, wait a minute. That ain't what I was talking about. Penny Royalty. I'm sorry, I made a mistake here. Kurt Cobain gave a great insight into the song, saying that it was about a person suffering from severe depression. So, okay, so that song is actually talking about depression, and I had no idea. I thought it was just talking about tea, but okay, but it's a great song, you know. I mean, there's like two soft moments on here, but I think they're actually done better on this album than what they were on Nevermind. And you know, it's just this album is just so great, and I really like it. So Cobain dedicated all apologies to his wife and their daughter Frances. Bean Cobain, the songwriter, told Michael Azar that while the lyrics had nothing to do with his family, the song's mood, which Cobain summarized in the words peaceful, happy, comfort, was intended for them. See, I don't really think In Utero was actually even talking about, you know, suicide like, you know, the stupid dumbass fucking media says, or these critics say that it is, because when I listen to this album, there's no mention of Kurt Cobain really wanting to kill himself and all this type of bullshit. I just think like the media just goes whatever they want to go with and make up the assumption that this singer wanted to kill himself, which in reality I think it's absolutely fucking stupid, because I do remember the day that Kurt Cobain died in 1994, and you know, when they said it was suicide and all this type of shit, what bothered me is that they never autopsied his body whatsoever to find out what really was the cause of death or anything like that. They just made up a big, huge conspiracy theory saying that he killed himself, shot himself in the mouth with a shotgun, blah, blah, blah. I think it's ridiculous because when someone dies, you have to find out what the cause of death really is. But, they just went with what they said and blah, 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 because it just never made one bit of sense to me whatsoever. I think a lot of it had to do with that fucking bitch Courtney Love. I think she was very responsive for his death, because I think she was very jealous of Kurt Cobain because he was making more money than she was, and I think she was a bit outraged, and I think she hired somebody that nobody probably knows about, or who never has seen this type of person go inside Kurt Cobain's house, and after so many milligrams of heroin killed him or knocked him out. I think this person took the shotgun and shot Kurt Cobain in the head. Because when you have that big, huge amount of heroin inside of your system, that's literally enough to kill any type of man. I don't care what anybody says. I think also that the media wants to make Courtney Love look fucking good, and when in reality, I just think she's a fucking evil person. Because Kurt Cobain shouldn't have died at the age of 27 years old. There's something about that case right there. It just feels there's a lot more in that case than what the fucked up media says, and these retarded cops, dumbass cops that thought, oh, he just committed suicide. We don't want to autopsy his body to see what the real cause of death was. Which that pissed me off, because I thought after he died, I thought his body would be autopsy, have an autopsy at least to find out what really happened to him. But because I remember watching that on Unsolved Mysteries about his death, and when they investigated what happened to Kurt Cobain, they just jumped to a big, huge conclusion, conspiracy, saying that he committed suicide without going into any further details of what really happened that day. That really bothers me, because I think, in my honest opinion, someone that was there with him because of Courtney Love's bullshit, and I think she just wanted him killed off because she wanted his royalties to collect his money, and just be a selfish, conniving, evil person that has screwed over so many Nirvana fans out there, that I absolutely think Kurt Cobain was murdered. I'm sorry. Murdered by somebody. We're never going to know who this person was, and we're never really going to know what really did happen that day to Kurt Cobain. because I really don't think that it was suicide. I really think this is what happened. Kurt Cobain was at home in that place in his house, and I think that he was just, living on his last days, and just, using a lot of heroin because he was depressed, because he was with that bitch ass Courtney Love, and I think that he wanted to really leave her and get some help and clean up, and was probably wanting to date somebody else, probably that would treat him actually better, because I think they had a big, probably huge argument about Nirvana and all this type of shit. I think really Courtney Love had everything to do with Kurt Cobain's death. But the thing is, that makes me so sick to my stomach, is that the media is covering up of what really happened to Kurt Cobain. And I don't think that's right. I think they should reopen the whole entire case, dig up his body. I know that it's gonna be like skulls and bones now, but I think the whole entire case should be reopened. I really do, because I think there's a lot more that's going on there than what meets the eye. Because when you really, really think about it, isn't that really fishy that they never autopsied Kurt Cobain's body whatsoever after the death of him? And I think also what's really fishy too is that the cops say that it was a suicide without even going into what really happened that whole entire day when Kurt Cobain was alone. I think it's absolutely just fucking ridiculous that I don't get where they say that Kurt Cobain killed himself. Doesn't make a big, huge amount of sense whatsoever. I really think he wanted out of the relationship of Courtney Love, and I think that he really wanted just to leave her and to continue on with his life without her being in it. Because I really think that relationship was sour because of her. I really don't think she really cared about Kurt Cobain. I only think that she cared about herself. Because what kind of woman or girlfriend that's married to a rock star, singer, musician of a famous band gets all pissed off because someone shows a picture of Kurt Cobain and has a little hissy fit on stage? See, there's something that's not right about that right there. Because when you really picture all together and the pieces finally come in, you know that that person is responsible for that person's death. But what bothers me is that you could tell she's lying all the time. Because if it wasn't her that was responsible for his death, then who was it? Because the way I see it, she got so pissed off at Kurt Cobain making more money than she has ever done in her bands that I truly think she hated his guts. I think she just went with a big burst of outrage, and she really wanted Kurt Cobain dead. You know what? I didn't feel one bit of sympathy for her when she read that suicide note about Kurt Cobain, because I think she's the one that made up that suicide note, thinking that it was Kurt Cobain's writing, but when in reality, somebody else wrote that letter. That's another conspiracy I have too, because when I think about it, you know, that has been 19, yeah, almost 19 years ago. That's going to be this year, the 19-year anniversary of Kurt Cobain's death. And really, when I think about it, I say to myself, how can Courtney Love, this bitch, be so fucking heartless and cold? It's because, in my honest opinion, I don't think she has a heart or anything. I think she is just very evil. Very much so, because if you date a woman, I don't care if it's like real life or in the music business, you should really love that person for providing you and helping you out, and not get so pissed off because they're making more money than you. I mean, that is fucking retarded. Because when I look at all the actual facts about what happened to Kurt Cobain, there's no way that it was suicide. I think she just wants to cover up for his death, because she probably knows she did it, and knows probably sooner or later that someone's going to find out about what really happened to Kurt Cobain, and I really think that she is going to be in big trouble for his death. And I think she's going to go to prison, or probably be sentenced to death, because I think she truly had him killed off. And that, to me, just really pisses me off about this woman, because I think she's not all there. I think when I look at her, all I see is the deceive, evil in her eyes. That's why I see it in Courtney Love. And if she was like somebody who I met, I would fucking punch her in the fucking face. You know, I would tell her, how fucking dare you lie about your husband? You did kill him off, but you don't want nobody to know that. You want the media to cover your stupid, pathetic ass, trying to make yourself look good. Because I don't think Kurt Cobain killed himself, and I think you're the one that made that suicide letter up too, making people feel sorry for you at that funeral that you had about Kurt Cobain. You know, you are a deceiving, conniving cunt, is what you are, Courtney Love. Because you don't want anybody to know the real truth about what happened to Kurt Cobain that whole entire day. I think for almost 19 years, I think people really need to know answers. And you should really come out and say that I did it. I did it because I was sick and tired of Kurt Cobain making more money than me and than any one of my other bands, and I wanted him killed off. But I don't think you're ever going to do that. But what I think would be funny is that someday, if somebody does decide to reopen the whole entire case and reinvestigates it again and finds the true meaning to what happened to Kurt Cobain and finds out that you really did it, Courtney Love, that's not going to look good on you at all. I mean, and I do remember, like, I used to have like newspapers about Kurt Cobain would be laying on this side of the window in the house of his, and there was like a shotgun, but it was like a really fake toy shotgun. It wasn't real. And I think also that she probably wiped off the the shotgun, the 20 gauge shotgun that they found. I think she probably either had the fingerprints wiped off that shotgun or had another gun that somebody else used on Kurt Cobain to kill him. That's what I think. So the bullshit that Kurt Cobain killed himself, I think it was just all made up, big, huge conspiracy bullshit that the fucking media just has been making up for years without even knowing the actual truth of what happened. That whole entire day, Kurt Cobain was totally by himself without his bitch of a wife that I think he really didn't want nothing to do with her anymore. I think that he just wanted to leave, probably move out and pack his things and go somewhere else to be with another woman. I think that's what exactly happened. Anyways, guys, have a good one. This was my Nirvana discography review and my rant about Kurt Cobain's death, which I never think that it was ever a suicide in the first place. Because when you read articles, there's just so much stuff that can be misplaced so easily that you don't even know what's going on. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you.